Hi everyone. So today we're going to be replacing a couple worn out gaskets on this boiler cap sort of vac breaker valve on top of the Olympia Cremina. Mine is from 1988 and I have a sort of weird hybrid cap. It has the newer style triangular cap versus the sort of more flower shape, but it has a sort of intermediate style vacuum breaker, which just has a sort of acorn nut, 7mm acorn nut up here, and then a flathead screwdriver screw post with a little O-ring on the other side of this screw head that, as the pressure mounts, it sort of pushes the breaker up and then kind of plugs the hole, keeping the vacuum pressure stable inside the machine. So as you can see, this piece right here has been compressed over the years. I think it still works okay, but while I'm in there, I might as well just sort of replace it because I've noticed that the pressure seal isn't as good as it used to be. I mean, after 25, 26 years, I mean, that makes sense. I've had the machine for about 10 years and use it multiple times a day. I rebuilt it once about 5 years ago. All right, so why don't we take a look and see what's going on in here. I actually don't have a 7mm socket wrench, but I do have this pair of jeweler pliers that is sort of narrow enough to get in there and hold on to the acorn nut. Stabilize that a bit. Yeah, I can see the O-ring there. I actually got in here before just to check the O-ring and broke it, but I'll put that down here. Now, when using this terrific pick, which I actually got from Orphan Espresso, it's the one that Doug uses in all of his videos or a similar one, you gotta be careful because it's sharp. It's basically almost like a dental tool. So as we probably break this O-ring and pull it off, I need to take a look at the other two. Here, I'll put that on for contrast, that I got from Orphan Espresso. First blush, that looks about right. That looks a little small. You can always use pair of calipers to... You can see there's a bit of a sort of chamfer inside there where the O-ring is supposed to sit. So why don't we just kind of see how these... I'll stick with the little one in there. See how well it sits. It sits right inside of that chamfer pretty neatly. This covers the chamfer. I worry that as this deforms and gets a little bit narrower, that it's not going to perform as well. Let's try the big one. We can always change it back and see. At the same time, we're going to pull out this old green gasket here, and we just kind of want to get in and lift up underneath, turn it around just to unseat the gasket, and then there we go. Now you can see that's probably what it looked like at the begin with, nice and flat. Now it's been compressed over time. I mean, the benefit of that is that you know you've got a sort of an edge where it's seating properly on top of the boiler. The only thing that I see is that in this boiler cap, there's a bit of a recess. You can see when you look at these things that the green one, the old green gasket, is a little bit bigger. And this is a much harder material. It's very, very stiff. So it's not going to seat exactly right in there. But hopefully it's still big enough to make it work. Again, easy enough to swap out, but let's get it in there. I'm using my thumb, but it's not quite. There we go. A little bit too stiff. So you can see there's a bit of there's movement, right? We'll see how that goes. I like to use this 111 compound, mollycott from DuPont that Doug and Barb recommend. I think it's pretty much standard practice at this point to use this kind of a lubricant on your gaskets. You really don't need a lot. This stuff is quite powerful. That's way more than we need. I'm just gonna take some of this and put it on the recess where the O-ring is gonna sit. And we're gonna use the big one. Carefully get it over. You can see this post is sort of triangular in shape. And then there's a little lip here that you got to get that O-ring over. There you go. It seats quite nicely. So we're going to push this through here and then thread it into our acorn nut, which I'm going to hold with my jeweler's pliers. Get a little bit more stable. There we go. Gently catch the thread. And then if this works right, and the O-ring is the right size, we'll be able to tighten it down into the acorn nut, and there'll still be enough movement. Yeah. For the pressure release and activation. Okay, cool. Well, now I'm just going to put this little OEM, but not sized perfectly top on there, just to remind anybody to do not open under pressure. And we'll see how it performs. All right, we'll give it a shot. See how it goes. Thanks for joining.